Bitcoin is beginning to show some weakness on the short-term charts. However, the macro charts remain strong. What does this mean for Bitcoin, and where is Bitcoin likely to move to next? Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a great day today. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the developing weakness on the short-term charts at the major 52 to 53,000 resistance. We are going to be discussing what impact this could have on the short term, where Bitcoin is likely to go to next, the impact this could spill over to on the macro charts, and how altcoins may be affected. Before we do get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos for Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical, and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, join us on Telegram. It is the third link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. If you were interested in taking your trading to the next level, you can join us in VIP. You can see some of the profits we've been making here in VIP. For more information, click the links down over here or find us in the pinned comment of the free channel. You can find the entire trading track record, and you can even watch a video taking you through what VIP is and what it has to offer. A quick summary: we post trading setups with exact signals, exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, and exclusive analysis. You'll also get access to group chats, general chat, trading chart, education chat, help chat, video, trade setup, and news chat. For more information, you can contact us in that pinned comment. Let's go ahead and jump into a video. So starting on the market data, how are we currently looking? The last 24 hours, we've seen a decent amount of volatility in the market. We've seen a little bit of a pullback for Bitcoin, pushing down to near 51,700. Of course, this was upon the rejection from that 52 to 53,000 high time frame resistance zone. 24-hour volume is up 27.5%, sitting at 120 billion, and 24-hour liquidations are up 29%, sitting at 143 million. This is expected as we come out of the weekend. Obviously, more volume equals more volatility equals more liquidations. So taking a very brief look at Bitcoin, we can see we closed that weekly candle at that level of high time frame resistance, which is circled by that red circle. Again, guys, we do need to clear this level for the price action to continue upwards. Until then, resistance is resistance until it is not, and we could see a potential correction develop from here, and that is what we're discussing on the short term today. On the short term chart, like we said, we saw a fake out toward the upside yesterday, a breakout of that short term diagonal downtrending resistance, which we noticed by this black trend line. However, we did mention we did not have the strength as per the RSI sitting under this trend line, indicating RSI was still negative, to actually sustain that break of that resistance and push through that high time frame resistance at 53,000, indicating a likely failure to do so, and thus we've seen the price action reduce or drop in the last 24 hours. We'll come back and discuss this in way more detail on the short term in just a moment. Moving over to the DXY, the DXY is still pushing slightly upwards against that uptrending diagonal trend line. Again, if we do break down from this level, which I would assume at the moment we will, because the RSI again has broken through that uptrending support line, indicating a negative momentum shift. And as we know, momentum is leading for price action, so the probabilities still remain in the fact that we are likely going to see a correction towards these local lows. That would be bullish for the markets if it does occur. However, while we do remain above this uptrending diagonal support line, there is a chance we continue back upwards to retest these highs again. Highest point we could potentially go would be this local high over here, the low range of that range, which would be sitting at 105.5. However, I am still expecting a correction down, provided the RSI does not break back in this trend line. Moving over to the S&P 500, again, not too much happening over here. We had the weekly candle close above 5,000, sorry. A weekly candle close above this level was solid. However, this area is now acting as a short-term area of support and is yet to be tested, okay, as support. We have just closed that candle above. If we do drop below, we could potentially see a swing towards our prior all-time high, which is going to be a major area of macro support. We would expect a bounce from that level. If we are able to remain weekly above this trend line, we could, should I say, the support level, we could see a continuation up to 5,200, 5,100. Overall, looking very, very bullish. But if you've been following the channel, you would know we flipped bullish all the way down over here. And we would not really be looking to enter this high. We're more or less sitting on those bags, watching how that plays out. Moving over to the Dow Jones, a very similar scenario. We kind of flipped bullish within this retest of this high time frame support. We are looking at that 39K level, a break of 39K. We are looking at a retest of 40,000. Our main target, 40,000, being that psychological area of resistance. We can see a little bit of indecision developing around this level with these large wicks and very small body candles, indicating two things. Number one, we're seeing again indecision, we're seeing equal buys and sells, and we're seeing potential exhaustion develop. If that exhaustion does develop any further and results in a correction, we could see a retest of this prior range, and only if we lose that range will we flip short-term bearish for a correction towards our prior high. Now again, provided we hold above both of these or one of those levels, we are still looking for a macro continuation upwards. Overall, still bullish. So enough about that. Let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin. So today we are going to be discussing, again, the high time frame charts, what this means, what impact we could have if we break up, if we go down. We're discussing similar to what we talked about yesterday in that regard. We're going over the short-term chart, the current structural formations developing, what is happening with our momentum, and where the price action could go next, and our key trigger points you need to be watching out for to validate certain moves in either direction. We'll be going over the total cryptocurrency market cap, and we'll also be discussing Bitcoin dominance in regards to how altcoins could perform coming in the next few weeks. So without further ado, a quick word from Bitget and BingX, and we'll jump in. I wanted to briefly interrupt today's video to discuss the two exchanges we use on this channel, Bitget and BingX. So which exchange should you sign up to? If you look to the right hand side of the screen, you're going to see the list of differences in relation to KYC requirements and the countries these exchanges offer services to. The first link down below being the Bitget link, and the second link down below being the BingX link. No matter which link you sign up to, you're going to get up to 15% discounts on your trading fees, up to $5,000 in trading rewards, and of course, you'll get access to every single MegaWhale exclusive bonus campaign we run on these exchanges. Alongside that, Bitget and BingX are incredibly similar. They are both ranked top 10 in terms of trading volume. They both have extensive liquidity pools and market pairs offering up to 125x leverage. And most importantly, they both offer protection funds for their users to protect you against any third-party hacks. So get started now and support the channel by clicking the links below. Thanks for listening. Okay guys, let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin. So starting on the short-term charts and building it up. As we can see in the short term, we discussed very briefly at the start of the video, we had an attempted break of a short-term downtrending diagonal resistance. Yesterday, this short-term downtrending diagonal resistance is reflected by this diagonal trend line. And when we're looking for breakouts, we look for three things. These three things were mentioned yesterday. This is going to be trend, structure, and strength. Now, this isn't a universal rule. This is something I've developed over the last 8 years of trading, something I look for when I look for confirmations of breakouts. Everyone's going to have their own way to confirm breakouts. This is what I look for. I look for trend. Have we broken, or are we holding above a specific trend? This is usually represented by our diagonal trend lines, a current trend of price action. Has that trend shifted? Structure, we're talking about formations, structural formations, we're talking about horizontal levels of support or resistance. Have we broken through these structural levels? And then strength, do we have the positive volume or momentum on our side that could facilitate a continuation of the price action through these levels? In this instance, we didn't have all of them. All we had was a short-term trend break. We didn't have our structural resistance break, and we didn't have the positive strength required to actually validate that breakout would be sustained, and thus we saw what we anticipated yesterday to be a failure and a correction back down. If we zoom into the immediate short term on the 30-minute chart, we can see we had a rising channel formation. My bad, not a rising channel, a rising wedge formation develop over here, which we saw a breakdown from. This rising wedge was actually developing at the high levels of resistance, and it does look like we are potentially forming a very clear horizontal channel or range within this area. If we go over to our VIP channel, we can see we actually took a short on that Bitcoin position at about 35% profit over here, expecting a swing to those lows. Currently pretty decent. We are now retesting that midline. So this is going to be our first take profit area and a potential bounce point for Bitcoin. Again, for us to see a continuation upwards, we do need to break above these local high points. We can see these areas have been acting as a major point now of resistance on the short term. So a break through this level at sitting around 52,600 would facilitate a continuation through the current horizontal resistance range, which we have been developing. So let's go ahead and draw that one out one more time, and then we're going to move over to the short term. So I'll draw that one more time, and then we'll move over to a different time frame. This is going to be our range. Again, our horizontal range that we need to break above. We have our low retest and our high retest. So let's move back to the 4-hour chart, guys. We can see that range is very much in play over here. We're currently retesting the midline of the range, which is generally an area of support within the range of price action. Now, as I said before, for a continuation upwards, we do need to break above the range high, which is going to be that level of resistance. And that level of resistance here, okay, if we just drag that over really quickly to the macro charts, that is going to correspond with this level of resistance. Let's go ahead and bring out a marker. That's going to correspond with this level of resistance between these two horizontal lines, the level of resistance we are testing. So subsequently, a break of this area would result in a break above that high time frame level of resistance. Perfect. Now, additionally, we have got our RSI trend line. This is going to be a reflection of the momentum which has been developing within the visible range of price action. We discussed this yesterday, and we've been talking about this for a very, very long time. By now, you should have a very clear understanding about what momentum is doing, how it behaves, and how we can identify absorption in price action and general weakness in price action, as we've been discussing it for quite some time now. As you can see within this visible range of price action, momentum has been falling. So that means as the price action has been moving up within this trend, we have had reduction in overall strength. We're seeing falling momentum. However, we have got higher lows, which is indicative that while we are again reducing momentum, we can see we actually have an overall uptrend develop over here, which is generally, again, a sign of a bearish divergence. Now, if we do see that RSI break through this trend line, okay, this is going to be a sign that the selling pressure has been absorbed and the price action will break through this up level of resistance, as again, the downward selling pressure that has been developed within that cluster of price action over this period of time has not been adequate enough to result in a breakdown of the current uptrending support. That is very, very key. It means that the sellers were unable to outbid the buyers, and the buyers were able to push the price back upwards. So a break over this trend line would indicate to us that the market now has the strength to continue through that resistance and subsequently again break through at a high time frame resistance. This would be the bullish case scenario, and something you have to watch out for. Again, I'm watching for that RSI breakout. Until that happens, we are going to be in, like we said, a short-term horizontal range. We are still looking for the price action to retest potentially that range low, guys, before we swing back upwards. The only issue with that is we have that uptrending diagonal trend line, which if we draw a vertical line, for us to retest the range low, we would have to cut through that uptrending diagonal trend line, which tells us one or two things. Number one, we could see a fake out below the trend line, or number two, if we do retest the range low, we could be at risk of having a confirmation of a breakdown of the current trend. So let's discuss what that means and what that is really on a higher time frame. So if we go over to a 12-hour time frame now, we can see zooming out, we have got our higher time frame uptrend. This higher time frame uptrend is reflected by this RSI uptrend. We can see our equal lows. So we have our low here, we have our low here, we have our retest here, we have our retest. Perfect. We can see now within this range, and again, the same visible range, that momentum has been moving up as the price action has been moving up. So it is indicative of a strong trend. However, we are seeing for the first time in just under 4 weeks the momentum is starting to show weakness. This is an indication that we could potentially lose this short-term uptrend and come for a retest down to a major uptrending support line. So it really is a battle between, if you want to zoom in again, it is a battle between the short-term range, depending on which way we break out, will determine the directional continuation of a Bitcoin. And there are going to be people in the comments saying, Whale, you're not telling me anything, or you're telling me it could go up, it could go down. If that is what you're hearing, you are completely misunderstanding everything I'm saying. I am telling you, at some times in the market, we have things called neutral consolidations. The probabilities for certain directions are unclear at this particular period of time. It could literally go either way. So we are waiting for indications from the buyers or sellers, according to our momentum, our RSI, to tell us there is a greater probability of a move through the upper resistance or below the lower support. That is yet to happen, so we cannot make an assumption based off that. When that does occur, we will then tell you the price will move upwards, the price will move downwards. Just as we said already, if we see that 4-hour RSI breakout, okay, we are massively expecting we are going to see a continuation upwards through this resistance. Perfect. So guys, zoom out, pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm giving you the trigger points. I'm giving you the key levels to watch. When these levels break, the probabilities for continuations in specific directions significantly increase. So it's not just about what is Bitcoin going to do in the next 2 minutes. What is it going to do right now? That's irrelevant. You have to plan, you have to prepare, and you have to have a plan in place to execute when certain events unfold. Remember, probability over certainty. That is what trading is. So keep that in mind and make sure you're paying attention to that when we're actually going through the charts. So that is the short-term chart, guys. The next big question is, how could that impact the macro? So like we just said already, guys, if we do see, and we'll go back to that 12-hour chart, if we do see the price action lose that short-term range, which is going to be the range low, that would indicate that the development of price action within this range has been unable to sustain this uptrend, and we will be at risk of entering the range below us. The range below us is this downward range to potentially 48 to 46K, which will be a retest of this major uptrending support line. Again, while we remain above this uptrend, we are very much bullish and expect a break of this 53,000 level. So, to delete everything off the chart and to draw one simple line, okay, this is going to be the uptrend. While we remain above the uptrend, even if we see that, still bullish. Even if we see a correction here, doesn't matter, still bullish. And if we apply that now, that concept to the higher time frame chart and discuss where those levels are, that level that we said we would still be bullish from or retest would be this high time frame area of support between that 46 to 48,000 level. So provided we remain above 46 to 48,000, we expect a break of 53. So provided we remain above 46 to 48, we expect a break of 53. And like we said yesterday, a break of 53,000 makes us go up to potentially 60 or potentially even the prior all-time high as the final time or the last time we broke above that level. And let's go ahead and draw in a circle here. The last time we broke above that level, right over here, what did we see? Well, we saw that high time frame continuation directly upwards to retest that prior high. So we could say again, if we do see a break of this level again, we would push upwards to retest that prior high, which is around 68, 69,000. So pay attention, guys, definitely something to consider. Let's go over to Bitcoin dominance now. So Bitcoin dominance is finding resistance here at our prior structure consolidation low, because we had this range over here where we consolidated before we pushed upwards, and then when we lost that level, we kind of crashed significantly back down. So this is an area of major significance that we are now retesting. Of course, a break through this level will likely result in Bitcoin massively taking priority over altcoins. I don't think that's likely. I think what's more likely here is that we see this level act as a resistance and we see a rejection back down a little bit, not too much, maybe back down to 46 to maybe 47 to 48% over the next coming weeks. This gives altcoins some time to catch up, and then we might see another leg up for Bitcoin, and then we'll see that large correction on Bitcoin dominance that will take us into these altcoin cycles. So I think next up we're going to see a little bit of correction, and we're going to start to see altcoins push upwards, as we are now starting to see a lot of altcoins break out of their high time frame consolidations. Again, I'm not going to go through it on this channel too much, but to give you a few examples, actually I'm not going to give you examples, I don't like to shell anything. If you're in the VIP or you're paying attention to Telegram, you'll know what we're talking about. Look for those coins that are breaking out through those high time frame consolidation ranges. Okay, let's go over the total cryptocurrency market cap over here, guys. We can see on the total altcoin market cap, the altcoin market cap has been breaking out of that total consolidation range, breaking over that prior sell side liquidity low. This is very, very bullish, guys, as we've now developed this area as a high time frame support. This area has been broken, retested, and bounced. So we now have a clear high time frame support here for the total altcoin market cap. The total altcoin market cap is expected to continue upwards, and we are looking for a retest of 64,000, which is going to be this local low, and then finally a retest of this high if it does happen over the coming potential months. Now, this could take 6 months. I don't know how long it's going to take. It will happen, but we are expecting the overall trajectory of price action to continue upwards. Looking at the total cryptocurrency market cap, again, we are expecting a continuation to this $2 trillion level, a little bit higher, maybe 2.1, 2.2 trillion. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers and bye.